Hey, hi, how you doing? This is the Gamertron, and a very interesting thought crossed my mind. When thinking about video games and playing, well, video games. This channel's about video games, what do you expect? Anyways, realism. Realistic. Words that have been thrown around in the gaming industry for quite some time. There's basically two sides to the story. One says that video games should strive for realism, and that a game is bad when it's not realistic. The other side, realism is a bad thing. We play video games to escape from realism. Realism is a bad thing. It takes away from the fun of a game. I'm in the middle party. What I think, in my opinion, when it comes to realism, realistic aspects in games, comparing the story, the mechanics of a game to real life, there needs to be a fair balance. For instance, there are some things that should stay unrealistic. For instance, health. In a majority of games, almost all games, you have health. You have a health bar, regenerating health, you get the gist. Now, it is very unrealistic to have regenerating health. Like, you get shot with a bullet, all of a sudden the bullet just comes out and the wound heals itself? No, that doesn't make any sense. It's not realistic. Neither is getting a health kit or some sort of needle filled with medicine that automatically heals you when you've been riddled with bullets. Or you've taken a sword to the gut and all of a sudden having a healing potion, granted the healing potion you can get away with because you can say it's magic, from fantasy games. Regenerating health, health kits, health potions, they're all unrealistic, but it's necessary to a video game. Because you need a way to sustain survivability. You need a way to not die instantly every time you come across an enemy. The player, the protagonist, the player-controlled avatar or character needs to have a slight edge over his enemies to survive. Otherwise, well, the game's not really going to be fun if you're realistically dying all the time. Realistically, 1-2 bullets can take you out. Realistically, a slash or a stab from a sword is going to take you out right away. The player needs an edge, no matter how small the edge is, to stay alive and continue playing the game to progress. Enemy intelligence, AI. While there are some things that should be realistic, there are some things that shouldn't be. For instance, enemies shouldn't be able to see you miles away. However, a skilled human eye, realistically, could see someone from miles away. Enemies shouldn't be able to see you in the dark, although, realistically, they should, and they would. I can see in the dark just fine after my eyes adjust. However, limiting the enemy's point of view, not allowing them to see in the dark and not allowing them to see you from a mile away, while not realistic, helps the player. It makes stealth games, like Dishonored, Thief, Splinter Cell Conviction, Hitman, it gives the players something to work with, something to go on, an accessible way to maneuver around enemies for the sake of stealth. However, some things should be done realistically. For instance, enemies shouldn't repeat the same lines over and over again, at least in the same time. That's immersion breaking when an NPC is talking to another and they just repeat something they said only a few seconds ago. Or the infamous NPCs walking into walls, AI walking into walls. That is embarrassing and immersion breaking. Some things must be realistic for the sake of immersion, to get the player involved and engrossed in the world. While some things must not, in order for accessibility and giving an edge to the player, allowing them to progress and do what they need to do. Boss battles. Boss battles are unrealistic as all hell. And I love it like that. Don't you dare touch my boss battles. They stay unrealistic and they stay where they are. I mean, one character, one enemy out of the hundreds you fought is stronger, tougher, has a bunch more moves and abilities? That's unrealistic. What makes him so special? Why was he just waiting there for me to come? Why wasn't he assisting all the minions and trying to kill me? That sort of thing. Boss battles are unrealistic, and that's a good thing. It makes them all the more special, all the more enjoyable, and you guys know how much I love boss battles. Player movement. Now this one is really debatable, and I'm on and off with this one. Really, it all depends on what type of game you're playing and what the design of the game is. However, I'm not gonna lie, when it comes to player movement or player traversal of a level, it can get really annoying when your character can't just climb over a box, climb over a small wall, simply push away a bunch of rubble that's blocking a door. Or like, oh, the door's locked, why can't I just kick it down? Oh, what's this? Why can't I go here? Oh, invisible wall. Sometimes the amount of player movement you are given and the amount you are not given can be incredibly immersive or immersive breaking. Games like Skyrim, Fallout 3, Metro Last Light, and Metro 2033, just first-person open-world games, are remarkably immersive. Hours and hours will fly by because you won't feel like you're playing a video game. You will feel immersed. You will feel like you are there. You are taking part in this world. My take on realism in video games is simple yet complicated. While realism certainly has its place and must be implemented for the sake of immersion, there are some elements that simply some elements of real life that simply cannot be put in a video game and must not. Because what makes video games so fun is that they're unrealistic. That when you're hit by a car, or you die, or you kill an enemy and they turn into ragdolls. That's unrealistic. People don't die that way. People's bodies don't just flail around and move like that. Explosions don't happen this often. Cars can't blow up that easily. I just took 1,000,000 bullets. How am I still alive? I got stabbed with a sword, but I'm A-okay. I was lit on fire. I'm good. We need these things in our games because they're entertaining, they're one of a kind. And games are the only place you can come to get these sort of reactions and experiences. They're hilarious, they're enjoyable. They make us love a game and care for it even more. So, to finish up, realism has its place, but only in small margins, in small areas, for the sake of immersion. Other than that, realism can just walk out the door. Because there is so much fun to be had in the absurd, the surreal, and the fantastical, which are what video games can represent the best. This has been the Gamertron. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in my next one. Later.